Hello, happy Wednesday. So this is my very first not Facebook, YouTube Live, and I'm kind of excited, a little bit nervous. So I'm gonna go and post in my Facebook group and let them know I'm here, and I'll be right back. All right. So I've posted it on Facebook. I'm gonna check over here for videos on YouTube and see if I see it. And there it is. And there it is. All right. So let me turn on the chat. Okay, so as I said, it is my very first YouTube Live. We'll figure out all the technical stuff so that I can make sure that I am seeing everything that's going on in the chat. And here we go. So let's talk about what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to be working with an online exclusive. It's called Delightful Floral. It's a 12 by 12 paper pack, and we've got Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Bubble Bath, Calypso Coral, Fresh Freesia, Lemon Lolly, Parakeet Party, Pool Party, and Pretty Peacock. So that's what we'll be using. I am going to flip you down to my desk. And let's see here. Okay, so YouTube is a few minutes behind me real time. Okay, here we go. Let me show you the papers. So as I said, it's a 12 by 12. I've cut this down to 6 by 6 because that's the size I was working with. And I will show you each of the papers. So we've got the front and the back. I love the texture that's in there. And back to this one here. Look at all those gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Next up, we've got this all over leaf. And I love the little tendrils that they put in there. And the different colors of green. And then this is the flip side. Another kind of cloudy all over. Hi, Cindy. And then next up, we've got this beautiful one with the larger flowers here and the small ones in all the beautiful colors, and even has dottage. And then we've got this one here, which I think is the Fresh Freesia, again with the cloudy texture. And we've got the small florals. And then we've got Calypso Coral. I just love the texture that they put on these background ones. They're easy to work with, nice on the eyes. And we've got another leaf one with lots of greens, and then they have the more solid sprigs in there of leaves. And the gorgeous, gorgeous Pretty Peacock. And more florals. And then the Berry Burst. So those are the papers. I love them. I will tell you that I had a little trouble the very first time I started working with them because I had so many beautiful papers that it was difficult to decide which ones to use. And I got overwhelmed. But I stepped back and thought about it when I was away from my desk and came up with some cards that used a mixture. So this is the first card I'm going to make tonight, and it is a fun fold. And as you can see, we've used some of the solid textured along with the print, and that worked so much better for me. So I've got all my pieces here ready to go. So first, let's talk about the fold. This is 11 by 4 1/4, and it is scored at 3 and 8 1/2. So when you close it up, they meet right in the middle. And for some reason, I don't have my sizes written on the set. I have a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Oops. I see what I did. 4 by 3 1/4 goes here, and then 2 by 4 goes here. Or if you like it better, you can flip it this way and this way. It's all yours. So tell me, do you like number 1 or number 2? Hi, Glenna. Thank you both for joining me. So, number 1 or number 2? Cindy says number 1. And then really you just have a white piece to stamp on with a mat and some dimensionals. So let me start pasting down these lovely things. I believe that was number 1. How's everybody doing tonight? And so these here were designed so they have just like a little 1/4 inch difference between the piece that we're putting it on and the Designer Series paper, which gives us an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. And now let's do a little bit of stamping, and I'm going to use some Berry Burst. Put these over here so you don't have to see me reaching for my inks all over the place. So we've got Berry Burst and this lovely flower. I should tell you what we're using. Translucent Florals is the stamp set. It is a new stamp set, and it's really quite pretty, and I can't wait to use it in my next One Sheet Wonder. So just a little bit of ink. Nine boxes of quilting material to a quilt group 70 miles north of you. Wow. Had a little bit of extra, did ya? All right, next we're going to use the Pretty Peacock to do the stem. Thanks, Cindy, for the update on Ruth. I felt really bad. She's like, oh, I'll just go really quick. I'm like, no, you do you. All right, so I just put the little stem there. And then I'm going to use Lemon Lime Twist to ink up my leaves. And then I have a little sponge dauber that you put on your finger. And I'm going to use that with Pretty Peacock to put a little bit of green around the edges of my leaf to just give it a little bit of extra oomph, so to speak. Got one there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I already have plenty of ink on here. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mindy. Hi, Audrey. Expression Craft Studios, Miss Georgiana. Hello, hello. And then we'll put this one right over here. Let me close up my inks because I will put my hands in them. Are you guys like that too? Got to close them up so you don't end up with them all over your hands. So that's our stamped image. And if I look at this one, I should have probably cleaned off the ink pad a little bit. It's very juicy. This is what it looked like when I did it last time because I actually scraped out some of the ink. But I think it's fine. Hello, Miss Lisa and Joanna and Judy and Valerie and Diane and Sandy. Oh my goodness, hello everybody. Thank you for coming to my very first YouTube Live. I'm happy to have any feedback that you have. If I could make things easier to hear or see, just let me know, because always learning. Hi, Kelly and Barb and Bonnie. All right, oops. I almost turned it upside down. Now I'm just gonna put a little bit of ink on the top part here. Not ink, glue. All right, that's what we've got so far. And then I have Happy Birthday, which I'm going to bravely stamp on this thing that I've already glued down. Sometimes it's a little scary to do. And just put Happy Birthday. Yeah, it even came out pretty straight, which, considering the fact that it's almost a foot away from me, I'm pretty happy with. All right. And I see, ooh, how do you say that? Is it Anike? I have no idea if I said that right. I hope I did. Miss Kim and Kelly and Ruth. Oh my goodness. All right, so next up we're just gonna add some little bit of bling to it. This is Festive Pearls. It is in the current catalog, and I am going to use the Berry Burst, I think it is. Looks like it to me. And just add a couple little pieces here. All right, so that is our first card. And this was the sample that I made. And I'd love to know, do you like the sample or the live? Which one do you like better, sample or live? Yes, Ruth, you get to watch somebody else in chat for a change. So many friends here tonight. Hi, Nessa. Sample, sample, both. Live, live. Well, you know what? The good thing is there's lots of paper choices, and you can mix and match them all day long to come up with all sorts of different combinations. So that's our first card. Our next card, playing with the same set. Oh, by the way, I got these little 6x6 paper holders off of Amazon, and I found that they were really good for putting together my sample with my cut pieces to make my live just a little bit easier for me. Sample, both. Is it real or Memorex? I'm not sure what you mean, but we're live. I'm not sure what that comment means, Barb. The sample is Pretty Peacock. Yes, all my artful stamping friends are here, Georgiana. Glenna. I scrolled and saw Georgiana's name. All right, so this one here, we're going to use a fresh freesia as our background and stamp the front of it. And we've got some layers and a little bit of fussy cutting and a very narrow border on the sentiment. So here's all my stuff. Let me grab my fresh freesia, which evidently I didn't pull out. I don't see it. All right, who stole my fresh freesia? Which one of you ladies did it? Just kidding. It was already out. From an old commercial. I don't remember it. Cindy says she's not old enough to remember that commercial. All right, this one here, we're going to use this lovely flower. How many people have this stamp set? I think it's just really, really pretty. So I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of random stamping. We've got first and second generation. Just, whoops. Guess I had a little extra on that one. Let's see how close I can get to lining that up. Close enough. Close enough for government work, as we say here in the States. Curious if that is a saying in other countries. Close enough for government work. Wow. 95 people? Okay, why did I wait so long to go on to YouTube? That's what I want to know. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to the stamp here with the Berry Burst. Whoops. So I was talking earlier about having to wipe off some of the ink because it is very, very juicy. So I'm going to flip that over and try again. Right after I clean off all that extra ink off my stamp and my fingers. That's a little better. All right, time to do a little bit of fussy cutting. Well, I'm glad that you are getting some inspiration, Kelly. It is a beautiful stamp set, Glenna. Ruth, what are you getting people to buy? So when I fussy cut, I try to make sure that I'm moving the paper more than my scissors. So slowly closing the scissors, but moving the paper. Whoops, looks like my camera moved. All right. Hopefully I am back on track here with the camera. I must have hit the stand it's on. So, interesting story. These scissors are hairdressing scissors. I don't remember where they came from. I want to say my sister, who used to be a hairdresser years and years ago, gave them to me. But they work really well on paper. All right, so we have our little flower, and I need to stamp the leaves. I have enough room there. I'm gonna grab another little scrap of white. I could have planned that a little better. Yeah, the dyes would certainly make it a lot easier. So once again, I'm using the lemon lime twist and then going to go around the edges with my little sponge dauber. And I did not re-ink this. It's the same one that I did at the beginning. Let's see how we did here. You've made a lot of cards with these, Judy? I can see why. It's really quite pretty. Little more fussy cutting. So is everybody having a good week? I had a nice win the other day. So my husband has had a bunch of medical procedures done recently, testing for this, that, and the other thing. And oh, I used a different stamp, different leaf, but whatever. So he got a bill that he paid for $1,600. And I was looking in the app and it was nowhere to be found. And so I was like, hey, you need to call the insurance company and find out what that's all about. And so, not the insurance company, his doctor. And so we got the information, and then I went in the app and found the thing that it was supposed to be for, and the insurance company said we didn't owe any money. And so I made him call them back. Ugh. We'll just have to flip that one over, right? So I made him call them back, and then they're like, oh yeah, we overcharged you by, I think they said $800. I'm like, no, they overcharged us by $1,600. So I made him call them back. And then they told me that the insurance company didn't pay it. So they couldn't give us a refund until they got paid. I'm like, according to the app, they've been paid. So yesterday, my husband came downstairs while I was working and said, we finally got a refund. I'm like, yeah, how much? The whole $1,600. Perseverance, my friends, perseverance. I'm like, it wasn't a $50 bill and I was willing to not fight for it. $1,600, I was willing to fight for. Okay, so here we've got a piece that is 2 by 5, and then the mat is 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. Yeah, well, I was right. I'm like, we're fighting for that money. All right, so we've got that glued on. And then we'll do a new little glue over here. So tell me, are you guys team double-sided tape or glue? I almost always use my double-sided, my glue, just because I find it's easier to work with. And this bottle here, I know it's not Stampin' Up! And I probably shouldn't say anything, but this bottle here I have used for months, and I stamp like crazy. So yeah, I am all about liquid glue. Glue, glue, glue. Okay, I need to know why you guys are friends. What did Glenna say? Glue girl? Same thing. $1,600 should go to stamps? Probably not, but there'll be enough. There'll be some of that. So I'm using some dimensionals. Whoops. And then I'm gonna use my glue to just put a little dab right there and stick it to a spot. It's stuck to me. Give myself some flowers, and we're going to go ahead and, whoops, what did I do? I didn't hold it long enough, that's what I did. At least half of it. I'm not sure my husband was gonna like that. Okay. And you could do, so let me ask you this. We'll do an opinion thing again. Hopefully you can see it all. In my sample, I made it a landscape card and did my sentiment over here on the left. And here, I do it like this or like this. Landscape, portrait. What do y'all say? Portrait, portrait. Hello, Jazz. Jazzy Dazzy. Landscape, portrait, landscape. Oh my goodness, you guys are no help. You're like right down the middle. But since I have one that looks like this, I guess I'll do one slightly different. Just need to decide where to put it. I think I'll go somewhere over there. Okay, and this is one of our new ribbons. It's Calypso Coral braided linen trim. It's 3/16 of an inch. And it reminds me of a waxed thread. So it's stiffer than we're used to using. So it'd be a little different to work with, but I didn't mind it. I'm just putting a little mini glue dot on the back. See if I can get that paper off. And there we go. Card number 2. All right. Another choice, so hard when it's so beautiful. Thank you. All right, and then I have one more card. Let me just make a little room on my desk here. Thank you, ladies. So this is my 3rd card. It is a landscape card. And I did a mat, a one-piece mat for both the pieces here. So let's get going with that. And I have different colors and papers just so we have something a little different to look at, because nothing should be exactly the same, right? So this is a super simple card, really good for mass producing and using up scraps of paper. So we have a base which is 5 by 3 1/4, and then we have our 2 pieces here. One is 3 1/2 by 2, and the other is 3 1/2 by 2 3/4. And then we have this layer here, which is 3 1/2 by 1. And I was so prepared with all my other cards, but I didn't cut the braid. So let me pull that out so I don't forget. And let me get gluing. I like a clean and simple card. Even when I spend all the time to put together a one-sheet wonder, like you can spend half an hour or an hour putting that together. In the end, I usually end up making a pretty clean card from it. All right, so I'm putting my first piece on. It is just about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Whoops, I almost glued the wrong side. You guys weren't gonna let me do that, were you? And just a little channel, whoops. Good thing it was glue and not tape. I was able to slide that right into place, right? And then we're gonna put our little 1-inch piece down the middle. And then finally, I'll do a little bit of tying of the ribbon. Maybe I'll do a bow this time. Somebody's singing. What is Fred Knapsack? Is that your bird or some inside joke I don't know? Hopefully my hands aren't too much in the way as I put together my bow here. Give it a little tug to tighten it up. Get my good scissors, ones that I haven't been using on paper for years and years. Open up my card, make sure I've got it going the right way, because I couldn't tell you how many times I have done that. Though on this one it wouldn't really matter if it was flipped around, but sometimes it really matters. Fred watches too. That's cool. There is no way in heck my husband would be watching. All right, so now I have a piece that's 3 1/4 by 2 3/4, and a white piece that's 1/2 by 2 1/2. And we're gonna go with congratulations. um, does my spousal unit understand that he's now part of our family and must accept us? Under duress he watches. So my husband is very supportive of what I do, and I do a lot of it. I need to pull this closer so I can see. It's too small to do a foot away. He does not begrudge me any time or money that I spend on it, which I truly appreciate. But no, he's not going to be watching. Can guarantee that. And he will definitely never go on camera. Ooh, I dropped it. My work desk is about 6 feet away from me, and I do a lot of video conference calls. And my husband, if he thinks I'm on that phone, he won't even come within 10 feet of me, just in case I might be on the camera. All right, and I think I'm going to use dimensionals. I don't think I did it the first time, but I think it calls for some dimensionals. So I told you all this was my first YouTube live. I've been doing Facebook Lives in my Facebook group for a long time. I call it What's Up Wednesday because I never know what I'm going to do, usually until like Wednesday morning. But for some reason, I was a little afraid to come live. But so often, it would not show me the comments. And I'm like, that's it. And I have to tell you, having all the comments as I'm crafting gives me a little bit of confidence. So thank you all for talking amongst yourselves, and I appreciate you being here. Should have used my little take your pick tool, huh? Then it wouldn't be stuck to my fingers. There you go. Remove the ink out of the way. So we have our sample and our live. Thank you, Kelly. There's so many beautiful colors in the paper. I had to use different colors to play with because it's awesome. Oh, thanks for the encouragement. And yes, we do like to talk. Celebrating as used the last two sheets of Sycamore Street DSP that came out in 2013. Wow. Thank you for all the encouragement. So I'm gonna flip up, so don't get dizzy while I do this. I'll give you a sneak peek of something that's on my wall. And believe it or not, that is fabric. Oops, wrong button. That's fabric that I bought when I was in India about 10 years ago for work. And before I went there, I had to, I was having a conversation with my coworkers and said, I want to go to a fabric store when I'm there. And they said, what's a fabric store? And I couldn't figure it out at first. I'm like, you cut it and you sew it and you make clothes. And they're like, oh, I just totally lost the name of it. They have a different name for it. And I totally lost it while I was saying that. Oh, textiles. I wanted to go textile shopping. I'm like, yes, textiles. And I found that fabric, and my daughter is a dancer, and so I bought a couple yards of it, and I wrapped it around a canvas, and I wrapped another one for my niece, who was also a dancer. So that's my story of how that came about. So thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. And I'm glad that you were here to support me and that you liked my cards. If you would like to see it again next time, I go live on Wednesdays at 6:30 Eastern, right here on YouTube, evidently. We'll have episode 2 next week. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.